I don't know if you might have sort of seen in any other pictures or any other posts that I've put there on Drum Chat, but I've got a whole set of these Alesis Surge cymbals, and the really cool thing about these sort of cymbals is that it's just like just a cheap brassy kind of cymbal with a little plastic disc that's underneath it. The plastic disc basically knocks out some of the unnecessary vibrations that would otherwise be triggering off things so much. Now, it's not just a mere matter of putting your hi-hat here. Just take the wing up and the felt off, because if you did that, mate, what you're going to have, so that's going to move all over the place. So what I came up with a number of months back was I went, alright, get an extra felt, put it onto there, and a couple of washers. Just look for an old washer, but something that was large enough to fit on there, or might even say turn this around, put this over here, put this over here. That was the original washer that was on the Dixon stand, and just a small washer up on top. Put the wing nut over here, and what this does, of course, allows the cymbal to be just that little bit tighter. Because in the real world of acoustic hi-hats, your top cymbal's not going to move around that much. Okay, so you can adjust if you want it a little bit loose, a little bit tight, but you've got that option. And that means that if you're then starting to do any like 16th note hi-hat, 1 EM, 2 EM, 3 EM, 4, any little press roll things. Okay, whereas if it was loose, and this is even worse when you have a rubber hi-hat cymbal, that's just going to move all over the place. This is going to give you a little bit more control. Okay, so I've got that fixed in there. And once I've got that in there, and then fix one of these pads. Incidentally, with the other PDX8 pad that I've got fixed onto the cowbell bracket here, and I like to use that one because it means I can put these two pads together in one of my little sort of silver cases that's over there, and I've only got to sort of carry a few things. You know, I've just got to carry an amp, a bag for the Octapad. In fact, even that cymbal can sort of sit in one of those cases, but usually I'll keep that cymbal in a separate, like little small bag or a case. So one case will have a couple of pads and so forth. One case will have this and my various connecting leads. I'll have a small little sports bag that will just carry the stands. So these two main sort of single stands and my seat stand. So I don't even have a snare stand. It's just not necessary. In fact, if you were to use a snare stand, you're going to find a hard time to get the claws to sit in very sort of small like that, unless you had a larger sort of snare pad. But more likelihood you're going to have like one of these guys. Alright, so I've got the little L arm over here. I can choose to angle it straight. I just put a slight little bit of an angle. Okay, that might be handy for you. Fit it in like that, and you've got quite a few different ways that you can angle, move it in, around this way and so forth. That's rock solid, right? And of course, if you're, make sure that your tripod leg is over here so that you won't have any unnecessary tipping over. Okay. Now, of course, with the little boom arm thing here, the cool thing about with these Dixon stands is that this is the disappearing boom arm type. You've got a hole over here, and then the arm can go in straight. In this case, if you do have a longer reach than what I have, you can do that. Which you might not have that option with a number of boom stands. I believe Tama have got that option. The earlier boom stands didn't have that. Right, so now that's sitting in a fairly ideal position. I've got my kick drum pad I'm a big believer in the whole thing of setting up ergonomically. That sits there, that's there. If I need to bring it up a little bit, I'll bring it up from here first. Oops, just brought this up a little bit. There we are. I can have it as high or as low as I want. So now just loosening that up a little bit, dropping it down. Okay, cool. There we are. Now, so if your rolling pad has got this, fantastic. If it doesn't, you might have to order one in. I'll show you what one of those brackets look like by itself. Got this one right over here. I actually used to have this on my Roland Hansonic until I actually started placing that on a snare stand, which actually made things feel a little better. Alright, now it's just a matter of getting a few connections here. Slot that into here. Get that up. Okay, cool. And you just got to look at making sure that everything just sits right. Okay. Think of ergonomics, mate, because it really serves you in the long run. Right, now remember that little order that I was talking about with your leads? Okay, well, we need that connected up. So, just talking about like various little things you have to have connected up. Remember that little order I was talking about with your leads? Your first lead going into trigger number 1, which is your bass drum trigger. Snare drum trigger you'd connect in 2, and your hi-hat pedal on 4, and then the hi-hat symbol itself in say 3. Okay? So, now what I've done is I've deliberately taken the other Octopad that I had that was from my student set, because unlike my one that I usually use, which I've already got all my settings in here, I'm going to sort of show you how I do like a little bit of things with settings. In fact, let me sort of just change this camera angle.